Thanks a lot, Laulu. So, and really inspiring journey, full of tips. So please do, like I highlighted before, kindly put your questions together. Start to prepare your questions. I'll take the last. We'll then go to the last profile. So that was that's my picture when I used to be a younger person. So once again, my name is Babalola Akinloye, um, and like most of the other the others have said, we were all in the same class. Graduated in 2003. Um, Currently, I'm a front end concept engineer with Shell based in Brunei. And in my current role, I am a front end development manager. What does that mean? It simply means we kick off projects from the start. Because I work for an oil and gas company, it means I do oil and gas projects, and the projects can be diverse as well. So the projects can be development projects, which is new oil. That means we have a new field. You need to drill, you need to build a facility to produce it, you need to build pipelines to export it. Or they could be maintenance projects that you have an existing facility that is already producing, and then you need to fix it, you need to upgrade, or you need to refurbish. So projects in that dimension. That's what I do currently. So how did I get into this? So my journey is a little bit similar. So in my first introduction to any kind of oil and gas industry was with I had my internship with Total in Delta State, which was more of a lubricant processing facility. But because I was in the Niger Delta, that was really when I first came in contact with the oil and gas industry. Because then we didn't, growing up in the Southwest, I wasn't so familiar with that environment, that kind of industry. So, but that was just at the back of my mind. And um, while we were in school, my interests was mainly around uh, developing new things, building new things. That's really my interest. Um, and building new things in many areas, and not only technically, um, building new things involving things like even ideas, um, creating new ideas, um, developing them until they become something tangible that you can work with. So that's really one of the areas that was really of interest for me. And in line with that, I think I already started to develop those kind of skills going from university until we graduated. When we graduated, I had my first job with Accenture. Similarly with Laulu, I think he was there for just 4 months. I was there for about 1.5 years. So I was with Accenture. But the interesting thing with being with Accenture was that um, I was not, so Accenture at that time was managing one of the projects for NMPC called Project Pace, which developed, we had multiple sections. And one of those sections was the development of the NIPEX, which is one of the industry tools for supply chain management. And so as a chemical engineer, I was in that team. But I wasn't even in the core team that was developing the system. I was actually in a team called the change management team. And the change management team was focused on training, workshops, coordinating, managing the culture of people who are going to be using this system. So it was a departure from what I actually learned in school. But so initially it was a little bit I was a little bit unhappy with that role because I was a technical person and I wanted to do technical things. But here I was running workshops, I'm doing presentations, trainings. So that's what we were doing. But after a while, and this was where the thing really, where it really struck me, and it was a very big lesson for me, which I then began to imbibe going forward, is that there is no, in every role that you find yourself, uh, you can, if you have the right skill, if you have developed the right skills, that right skills will make you excel, will distinguish you in that particular role. This was I'll tell a little story about what happened was, so there was a day we had to go as a team to Shell in Port Harcourt, and we were supposed to perform a demonstration of the tool that we were developing. So this tool was still in the pilot phase, so it wasn't fully completed. So we were to go to Shell and do a demonstration. So myself, two other consultants flew all the way to Port Harcourt, and then we went into the session. And in that session, everything that could fail actually failed. So the systems were not working. They could not connect to the software. They couldn't install the software that was supposed to run the demo and all of this. But the interesting thing about it was that because of all the things, the technical skills that we had picked up while in school, because I remember in LAUTECH was when I was able to build my first um, PC at that time. When we go to Alaba, and then you buy the hard disk, buy the motherboard, and then you come and couple everything together, then install. So those kind of skills, when we encounter that problem in Port Harcourt, then uh, I brought back all those understanding came back, and immediately I got to work interacting with all the IT guys in Shell, and we were able to resolve that problem and get the demo to run. My manager at that time was so impressed that her perception of me immediately changed, and that was really an eye opener for me as well. That sometimes when you are in a particular role, what people really want is their problems to be solved, right? In that particular situation where we were, it didn't matter if anybody had PhD or you had a master's, you had 100 degrees. Unless you are able to solve that problem, all our degrees were useless. Every knowledge that we had acquired over the years was of no value because that project was about to fail. And so that really changed my mind about the way I look at about industry and practice going forward, which is that everything is about problem solving, and the amount of problems that you're able to solve decides what your value is in life or to people. It's the same thing with so nobody's employing you because you are the best guy in the world, or you have 100 degrees, or you are from LAUTECH, or you are from US, if you are not able to solve their problem. And so that really was an eye opener for me, and that was a learning that I continue to take along with me over the years. So in 2007, I resigned from Accenture and eventually joined Shell, because now I actually got to do what I really wanted to do. So I joined Shell as a process engineer in 2007 in Warri, and from there continue to manage, go on, and with Shell, I've had quite a great opportunity to do multiple flagship projects. I've been involved in many of the big projects that are gone in the country. Um, also been able to, in 2014, I was process lead for some of the feed front-end engineering design that was done for a number of the projects. And in 2017, I moved from my core process engineering role to this concept engineering and front end when I was moved to Brunei as a front end engineer. So that has been my part. So I had a bit of detour as a while we as a consultant, but that was quickly corrected because I was able to find my way back into engineering, which I really wanted to do. So the key things I would like to share with you today in terms of that career path is one. The first one I've touched on already, which is that people want their problems to be solved. And so what is important is to learn how to solve problems using the skills that you have picked up in LAUTECH, in chemical engineering, and by interacting with in this networking that you have. And when you get into that situation, please don't be shy in using your skills. Right. I think don't draw back in using your skills. In fact, that is one of the things that distinguish high performers from mediocres. Right. There are people that will only, so in an organization, when you go into the organization and you employ 10 people to write a piece of paper, I'm telling you that 8 of them will always write the piece of paper and would never ask, can I do one extra thing in addition? And the people who would really be successful, who will shine in that organization will be the people who will write the paper and then say, what else can I do apart from writing the paper? Okay. So bringing your skills, your problem solving skills into your organization is one of the things that will distinguish you. And I think you can begin to apply that even now in school, because there are actually challenges with the existing education system, and you are one of the problem solvers in that organization. So even as students, amongst yourself in SUG, in the different associations that you have, there are problems that need to be solved. There are people who need tutorials, people who need who need to learn new things. Begin to apply yourself to solving those problems, and then you would get the benefit of those of the value of being able to do that in future. So the second thing that I would like to highlight is excellence. Personally, that is my my watchword. Excellence is very important. What does excellence mean? Excellence means doing whatever you have to do, doing it very well, right? Doing it to the best of your ability. Don't be shoddy in the things that you do. Don't do things half-heartedly. Commit yourself to something. So if you become a member of, let's say, your association in school, for example, don't do it half-heartedly. Do it with everything that you have, because that is one of the things that will distinguish you from others. The second thing, the other one I would like to highlight is what I call continuous learning, and I think a few of my other colleagues have mentioned that. Learning is very important within this period. While my first degree was with LAUTECH, chemical engineering. While I was with Shell, I did a master's degree in process technology and management. Within that same period, I became chartered as a chemical engineer, chartered chemical engineer with Institute of Chemical Engineering. And right now, I'm also taking an MBA with the University Warwick Business School. The reason for that is not because I just like to read, right? It's because I want to know more, right? I want to know more than I have known before. So every technically, great, you know your onions as a chemical engineer. But then, do you know the details about energy? Do you know business? Do you know politics? Do you know finance? Do you know economics? So if those things are valuable to where you are going, then it's important to begin to pick those skills. Go and get those skills from wherever you can get them from. That continuous learning is very important. Um, and the other reason why continuous learning is important is because the challenges of 10 years ago is completely different from the challenges of today. I'll give an example. 10 years ago, climate change and things like greenhouse gas, I don't know how many of you are familiar with those terms, are not were non-issues. You don't consider them when you are making decisions. But today they are a primary decision maker, right? So what do you know about climate change? What do you know about greenhouse gas emissions? What do you know about environmental pollution? What do you know about security? So because the world is dynamic. If you stay with the knowledge that you had 10 years ago, right now you would be redundant because you would have no understanding of what you are doing, of the new challenges that are there. And the world will go and pick those people who have understanding of the challenges that they are currently dealing with. And finally, I think the last one I talk about is life lessons will be what I call build the future. What do I mean by build the future is that um, as an individual, you must have a vision for yourself, right? And when you have that vision for yourself, you must begin to walk towards it, right? And as you walk towards it, you need to also build, because it's like an army. When you fight alone, um, the tendency of success is lower. But when you fight together as a group, then you have a higher chance of success. And so what that means is that please pull together people that can go together with you into the future, right? So, and this talks about network with people above you, network with people that are your peers, and network with people that are coming behind you. Similarly to what we are doing today, which is coming back to people who are students and sharing some of the understanding that we already have, which will then help you grow in the future. Okay, so that's what I will like to share with you in terms of my own personal profile and my journey. And I want to wish you all the best as you continue in your various careers.